Hey guys, and welcome to the Mysteries of Selindor episode 124?
Yeah,
Okay. Mysteries of Selindor episode 124. I am your GM Gagnor, and we did some stuff last week. It was
yeah,
great.
blackjack.
Seti, do you have any memory of what happened last week?
A little bit, yeah. We found out that there's somebody claiming to be the guardian of this cauldron, now that the old guardian has moved out, apparently. And so we decided to go investigate and see what this new power was. They had set up a sort of gambling den, a casino of sorts, on one side of the cauldron. So while Orin and Bropsy stayed behind to keep working on the project, the rest of us went to investigate this casino and played some games, won some money, tokens, stuff, met a satyr and some other odd characters. And Seti solved a riddle that took us down into a dragon's lair underneath the casino. And it was this massive moonstone dragon that gave us a choice between a bunch of tokens or a mysterious object in a box. And Seti, not quite trusting what's going on here, chose the very clear tokens thing. And now we have a bunch of tokens to spend. But I believe as we left off, we were being rather forcefully guided up to meet the lady of the house.
As you are doing this, beginning to ascend the steps, a bunch of slightly strange goblin creatures making you ascend the steps at a quicker pace than might be comfortable, but they're not like prodding you too forcefully. They're just kind of pressuring you up. And as you come to the top section where you would split off left or right, they usher you to the left side. As you begin coming up onto this area, you find yourself looking at a single set of double doors that are positioned in the very center of the west wall. This door has no real adornments to it, but whoever it was, I don't remember who it was, but somebody that saw the iconography, it might have been Mitnir. I think it was Mitnir. That saw a bit of serpent iconography. You can see more of it in the details around the little reliefs above and around the sides of the door. There's the sort of just the door frame itself, I guess, seems to have like a bit of that same sort of like serpentine movement within a lot of the woodwork. As you are sitting there within the entrance, one of the goblins walks up and like very gently knocks on the door. There's a moment, and then you hear rather distantly, "Oh, come in." The goblins back up and they just sort of gesture to you.
Oh, all right then.
I hope we're not lunch.
Yeah, me too.
As you guys open the door and begin to step into the area, you see what appears to be a bit of a receiving parlor. There's a couple of couches and a little small fire in the fireplace. Very low kept. There seems to be books along the wall and plants everywhere. They seem to have hanging plants that come from all over these massive windows that line the entire back section of their villa. When you look into the far back section, you see that there are two beds. One of them is tucked away into a sort of back corner, and then another is right by the window where the sunlight is the brightest. Slithering off of this bed, the bottom half of a snake rising into a serpent-like body, but you see a more elderly face on this pale snake, and you see hairs, but instead of hair, it's actually snakes upon her head. You see a Medusa making its way towards you. Its face completely uncovered in that of a older lady. She moves in towards you and she says, "Hello, dears. I'm so pleased that you've made your way to the House of Fate and shown such prowess. I have been informed by our friend down below that you have succeeded in solving my riddles."
Yes, it was an honor to
Might
meet
I
you.
be informed, dear, what you chose as your prize?
See, all the
Hey.
snakes are kind of moving a bit uneasily.
Teddy hefts the token bag.
Oh, thank God. Oh, good. Good. Oh, I was told that maybe my puzzles were a bit too simple, but I didn't think it would happen in the opening week. But perhaps it was fate that you are here, dears. I simply wished to congratulate you on your good fortune, and if you by any chance did get your hands on, well, the thing down below within the box, that you knew what you were getting yourselves into.
Well, I'm a bit at a loss.
Oh, I'm
We
so
have-
sorry. I should invite you. Please come and take a seat. Would you like some tea? I have quite the number of very good herbal teas from my garden.
She begins moving about, like frantically begins putting it on this little hot coals. Just puts the tea down. She gives you such a similar vibe to Yidrisma whenever you visit him in the Pale. Just this magnificent creature that's only spoke of in folktale and legend, just acting like an elderly host, just sweet and caring. Just this very.
Does a 19 religion bring up anything? Recognizing her from anything?
Religion does not. Roll me history instead.
Okay. History is not as good, but
the only thing you get from religion is you do know of the Gorgons, within the realms of Arborea, and the many different types of things that came from there, and the Greek myths that followed through the gods of Olympus. You rolled a what now for history?
Just a 15 history. 15
history. As far as you're aware, you do not know of any specific individuals that are of much significance other than like just the story of the Medusa that you might be loosely tangentially familiar with just talking to people in taverns within Selindor.
But we haven't turned into stone yet, so.
You have not turned into stone, but that myth is well known. There's probably this instinct to cover your faces or look away when you walk in, but she just greets you with a warm smile.
Are there any stone people in this room?
Looking around, you see only really plants. You see what appears to be a couple of different items. Like in the corner, you see a rack of weapons. There are many different types, and you can tell even from a distance that they are magical. Probably +2 enchantment level of, very, very rare kind of magical swords and bits of armor spread throughout the room in the back section where that extra bed is. Other than that, everything here seems to lean towards a sort of natural or book learning sort of situation. There's in the corner, you can see what appears to be a pot like a cauldron, but it looks like it was more used, and you who have alchemical knowledge would recognize that this is more of just a classical use of alchemy before the invention of a lot of the more modern tools.
Can I ask, at the risk of being a little too blunt, but who are you and what are you
I'm
doing
sorry.
here?
I should introduce myself. I am the lady of the house, as they call me downstairs. I go by the name Uriel.
Uriel. Well, it's nice to meet you. A bit. Well, I don't know. We have a sort of bond with this cauldron, this place.
Oh.
And so we were curious to meet.
The new guardian. Yes, dear, I'm so sorry. I received a message from an old acquaintance, I would not say friend of mine, saying that they had been trapped here for some time and made quite a home for themselves. And they know that I had lost my home at some point in time, quite a while ago, and I've basically been making my way through since. As it is, I'm quite pleased that this opening has happened. It is a very good place for me and my sister to reside.
Your sister.
Oh, she's not around as it is right now. She's off adventuring, testing the fates. And I'm more of a homebody, as it were.
I see. So, your friend perhaps went by the matron when she was here?
Oh, I don't know anything about that, but, well, I'm sure you've all heard the Witch of the Woods.
That's probably the same person.
Ah, yes, she is quite the cantankerous old witch. I hear that she's been turned into a hag when she re-arrived within Selindor. Heck, originally, when I resided here, it was called something much different, and, well, I was able to keep my normal form.
What was it? The what did the big guy call it? The sigil something sigil?
Sigil is the main city, but we called it in the Outlands, yes. I made my home here, me and my sister Asteria. But, well, times change, especially when strange creatures come and pervert the lands, devour the entity that runs the place, and, well, changes everything. Dire times. My home was surrounded suddenly by all kinds of bustling nonsense. The city's changed. My once grand villa had no place that really felt relaxed. So pleased to have found this calm little lock.
Well, I hope it may be a refuge to you and that you might take good care of it in turn.
More importantly, dear, hopefully it is a refuge to all here. Another place where they may seek to relax and, well, at the behest of the market downstairs, maybe have a little gambling with fate.
Yes, your friend below insinuated the thing in the box might change my fate for better or worse. Is this merely, well, you know, the talk of peddlers of
Oh no,
things,
dear.
or
There are many things within this house that can change your fate, for better or for worse, as they once did me and my sister, when we chose to fight against the fate of a hero and a monster. And to this day, we take it upon ourselves to guide those who would take the same path, or stumble upon the relic of our decision. Here I test for those that fate favors, and those who have the wit to move on, although in the future I will make my puzzles quite a bit more difficult.
I'm
I will speak
normally
to one of
really,
the people
really
ahead of
bad
them.
at riddles, so I was feeling pretty smart. But now, if you're saying they were just really, really easy riddles, then I'm not going to feel very smart.
As Dorian did tell me that they were too simple.
I just played a bunch of cards.
Oh,
Last time we were here doing a puzzle, it didn't go so well.
That's right.
I do know of this place. Once upon a time, the many labyrinths that came out from Sigil were the bane of the existence of all who came here. But now as it is, you call them fractured realities, demi-planes, or you call them homes for loot, dungeons. Well, as it
So
were, they're more
these,
chaotic than before, and less a punishment.
those are like remnants of what Sigil was before all
In the
this.
time when the old rulers ruled this place, a punishment for those that defied her, they were sent deep, deep down into her labyrinths.
Oh,
So why do you seek those with good fate?
Because it is those with good fate, those that fate favors, that I wish to offer the chance, should they desire, to test their fates with chaos. Here there are decks. Drawn from them will change reality, for your better or for the worse. A chance to go against the primordial fate itself, the Overgod.
Oh. That sounds like entirely too much power to put in the hands of just anybody.
We thought so ourselves when that power was ours. And yet we drew every card, well, Asteria did. It is a time where you may choose to face the darkest, the most punishing and harsh of adventures. And for a time we found it all to be beautiful. Even the bad things that happened brought us nothing but joy. Well, that is our tale, and the tale belongs to many others, but it is my chance to give them a bit of advice, so they don't accidentally harm themselves. But I find the decks neither bad nor good, simply a choice, which in this crazy multiverse is hard to come by.
I find it a little suspicious that we should wind up here in such a place at this particular point in our lives. We are at a hell of a crossroads.
Then perhaps it is the very force that I always fought that brought you here today. You do have quite the hole there, dear. Feel free to use my price shop. But if I were you, I would trust the fates. Every now and again. But the option is always there to choose for yourself.
Trust the fates.
Well, if you want a bit more, I'm no fortune teller or oracle. Talk to Odwin. He could probably help you, though he won't particularly tell you anything you might wish to know. He will tell a future that is true. That much is certain.
That is true, or that could be true, or that might be true.
That
in one of the
will come to
multiverses.
pass. It will happen, and he has a price. His price is simple. May not even note it for a while, but it is a price, an unnerving one. And you are reimbursed, we shall say, when your fortune comes to pass.
It all sounds like fate tricks to me, but I am
Well.
naturally suspicious.
I understand your hesitation. Meanwhile, please take time to rest in my garden. Oh, sorry, my springs. They will rejuvenate you, and feel free to stop by here any time you so need. This is a haven as well as a place of silliness, I'll tell you that. And, as it were, as a favor from me, you may choose and take one flower from my garden.
Well, that is an honor.
Of course, dear. Now, thank you for visiting the House of Fate, and please visit old Uriel again if you get the chance.
Of course. Thank you.
Oh, don't forget your tea. She hands you a little teacup. You can just leave the teacup wherever.
But he lifts it in a little toast.
Oh, sugar and honey there to the side, yeah.
Thank you. I suppose we'd better go spend some of our money.
It was then apparently you'd look at the flowers.
She looks at the other two of you and she's like, well, boys, you were very quiet during our meeting, but it was wonderful to meet you as well.
Just kind of like half bow, kind of like, yeah, just unsure.
Good.
She smiles at you
Just
warmly,
listening.
And then she says, well, unless you'd like to take a nap here. Goodbye.
Yep. Nice
as
and
you guys
waiting, your
turn
snake
and leave
lady.
the space. The door closes behind you as if by some unknown force. And you are left to your devices on the second floor of the House of Fate.
Cleary's with us.
Guess.
Uh,
Oh, I forgot about Cleary. I always
yeah,
forget
that's why I
about him.
said that. Well, all right. I think I have more questions now than I did before, but I can't articulate any of them. I'm a bit overwhelmed. It's been it's a lot to take in. Who wants to go look at flowers?
Apparently, she wants us to pick a flower.
They're good looking flowers. I was in there earlier.
All right, well, show me around. Let's go look at flowers. Let's go pick a flower.
So you all head to the garden, where you once again see a naga moving across the grounds. And she says,
Ah, you've returned. What can I do for you, friend?
as Mitnir makes his way outside.
The lady was saying something about we should pick a flower.
Yes.
Oh, the lady has granted you permission.
She simply waves her hand over for you a second, and she sort of seems to be just looking at something not on you but around you. She says,
Huh? The blessing was in fact given. Well,
She just kind of looks down
Feel
on the
free.
like, what?
she says, feel free to take a flower from my garden. Or from the lady's garden, not her garden. Any flower you choose.
I want to look around for all the flowers. See if
Okay.
So
there's
there's
anything
red ones over
cool.
there. There's blue ones over there.
"So
There's
here's what happens.
Jim's gonna
There's
look
a
around for a
specific
nut flower.
rules for this. A creature can spend 10 minutes studying the flowers. And if
Okay.
you do, you can make a nature check.
Okay.
If you succeed in this nature check, then you can choose your flower instead of doing a random d20 roll for which one you get.
and there's
Okay.
this one flower that roars at you.
Can I perhaps assist since there's multiple of us here? Can I maybe assist
No,
for a
one
nature
person
check?
one person can make a nature check, not with assistance. This is
Okay.
just
Then
whoever's
each
going to
of
pick
us
the
can make a
flower.
nature. Or
One of
we're only doing one flower.
We get one.
You guys are only
flower.
doing one flower. The whole group gets one flower.
Okay.
Who wants to roll it?
I mean, I'm proficient in nature, but is there a particular flower you want? I don't know.
I don't
The
know. We
thing
need to
is
find out
you're
what's
you're
here.
using this to study the flowers and figure out what they might be. This is going to give you options to choose a flower as opposed to just rolling a d20. Otherwise, you can just walk in, pick a flower, and walk out.
That's an
Let-
18
let-
nature check.
Looking around the flowers, you notice that there are different types, but you aren't able to discern exactly what their nature might be. You did not meet the DC.
Well, that
Damn.
stinks.
As you look around, unless anybody has any other things to contribute, roll a d20, pick a flower. One that looks nice.
Yeah, it's like I gave you the. I know there's random flowers, and I know there's one that roars at us. So that's all. That's all Mitnir can offer information wise.
Technically, the one with the right to pull the flower is SETI.
Pull
I
it.
pick a flower.
Roll that d20.
Roll a d20.
This one looks super cool. 13.
13. You find something that is very lily-like, very pretty, and it seems to crackle with energy. You have picked a swift lily. As a bonus action, you can crush the flower to increase your speed by 30 feet until the start of your next turn. The flower is then destroyed. Flower loses its magic 1d6 days after being plucked.
Oh. As a bonus action, crush it to gain 30 feet movement speed? Is that what it was?
Mhm.
For 1 round or what?
Yeah, just for 1 round.
Till the start of your next turn.
And then it decays in how many days?
1d6 days. So, I'll roll 6 days.
Okay.
Look at
Put it in the jar.
nice.
You absolutely could.
Yeah, might as well. I don't know if we have any. I don't think we have anything in the jar right now.
Beats me.
All
There
right,
is nothing
so
in it right now.
we do that. Well, all right. Shall we? Actually, I hate it, but I'm
Sorry,
very
I'm eating.
tempted. I'm going to go find the fortune teller.
All right.
Yes, fortune teller.
So on the west side of the hall, there seems to be some sort of like little sandwich board sign that says, "The Mystical Oddwin, Fortune Teller Extraordinaire." And there's curtains, blackout curtains that lead into a room beyond that is very dark.
Seti will go in.
I doubt they're better at it than me.
You walk into.
Are we only able to go in
a-
one at a time? Or
No, you can go in as a group. You walk
Okay.
into a very, very dark room. There seem to be all sorts of shadows along the walls. You can smell incense and oils and different unguents that are clearly used for some sort of strange rituals that this fortune teller might partake of. While you're looking around, you see several magical trinkets, but most interestingly, you see faces all over the wall, shapes in sort of like a grid-like pattern. In the center of the room, sitting around a table, holding what appears to be just an ivory deck in front of them, is a goblin. He's a little bit old and wizened looking. But somebody, go ahead and make me an investigation check. Anybody who would like to.
Oh, it's a good stat for me, but let me pull it up real quick. That's a 30.
With a 30, you notice that coming from this small light that is above, the tiniest bit of light that is coming from the center top of the room, seems to be casting a shadow from Odwin. And you notice that he has dozens of shadows, not just one. Some of them have very distinct features like horns or ears on top of their heads instead of the sides. Some of them are more nondescript, but the more you look, the less you can count for how many shadows are upon this being.
Does this ring any bells for me? Does this mean anything to me?
Not particularly. It's weird, though. Before we begin this, though, Beelan, can you go ahead and get 9 cards from the deck of many things for me?
Oh, I gotta grab it. I'll be back.
I noticed none of these shadows.
What'd you roll?
A 5.
Yeah, you sure don't.
oh yeah, well, I rolled a 7.
You sure don't either.
We're blissfully
Seti fucking
ignorant.
knows, though.
Seti's like,
Hey, look,
wow,
there's a
look at all these shadows!
Huh?
Oh, she looks. You look at it and say, oh, "Look at all these shadows."
You've noticed ahead of time. That'll make things easier for old Arduin.
Yeah, what's with that? Not to be too blunt, but...
Oh, no worries, dear. Merely the price of my bargain. I simply require to borrow your shadow in exchange for your fortune. Your shadow will return to you when the fortune is unveiled.
Wait, so like, I just don't have a shadow until the fortune is unveiled, and then you get to keep it until then?
That's correct, dear.
What do you do with all the shadows?
Oh, a trifling thing. Mostly I spend my time here telling fortunes.
But what do the shadows have to do with that?
Nothing in particular. It's just my thing.
You just collect
It
them?
is
Like some people
9 at
collect
random?
mugs?
In a way.
All right, sorry. The cards that I need, Beelin.
You got specifics? Or?
Yep. I need the
Okay.
Comet, the Fates, the Fool, the Key, the Knight.
All right, hang on.
Yeah. I don't know how you got them. So Comet, Fates, Fool,
Key.
Key, Knight, Rogue, Ruin,
Okay, got those.
Sage, and Throne.
So I think the Sage is Vizier
Yep.
and Throne. Okay.
Just those 9 cards and shovel them together.
So when you wish, all you have to do is give old Odwin your shadow and the fortune you will receive. The fortune will always come true, but when it will come true, I do not know. Till then, your shadow is mine.
What do you think, Cleary? Does weird shadow magic ring any bells for you?
Oh, there's plenty of shadow magic individuals, I'll
Go
tell you
for
that
it,
much
Midnight.
right now. But it's entirely up to you whether to risk it. Taking your shadow, I can't think of anything dangerous that would happen to you.
You won't
Well,
be able to tell the time by standing in one spot for a very long time.
which I never do anyway.
That's true. Someone here has logic in them.
But you can also
Well-
hide better.
Hey.
I
So,
suppose. I suppose we
would
could use all the
anyone
help we
like to
could get.
draw?
I will.
Very well.
And he just extends out
I
his
mean,
little
we're all
goblin
doing
hand
it.
towards you.
It's just a matter of who's doing it first.
He extends out a hand to shake your hand.
Very well.
As you shake his hand, you feel suddenly cold. As if something's missing. And you look down and your shadow is gone.
This is very well, dear.
And then his eyes begin to go dark. Draw a card from the deck for me, would you?
Ruin.
Ruin.
Oh no.
Oh, she's fucked.
Oh, dear. You shall lose something you hold dear.
And his eyes go back.
An unfortunate fortune, my friend. And yet we know it to be true. But your shadow will return to you once you've tasted ruin.
That's it. You're just telling me I'm going to lose something important to me. That's the only detail I get.
That's right.
Well, I could have told you that. God damn it, shit.
Oh, she's going to do laundry and she's going to lose a sock. Okay.
Oh, I don't
Grimster-
like this.
Grim-
I have regrets.
No regrets.
I'm gonna set down Mr. Tentacles, and then I'm going to set down Nephronon, so that they don't get their shadows taken.
Ooh, I quite like those creatures.
Then I'll go to shake his hand. Okay, my turn.
You shake his hand. And you watch as your shadow goes.
He goes, ooh, you are touched by different shadows.
Draw a card for me. As his eyes roll back.
Are you putting the
Go
previous
pure
card back
black.
in? Or is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, put
Oh,
that
yeah.
one in. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to clarify since he has a
We're
physical
all
technique.
ruined.
That would be
That
funny.
would be funny. That would be really funny.
Well, and the thing that you all lose is Oren's current body.
Or any toast.
No, that's not dear to me.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Throne.
Throne. Oh, you great one, great responsibility shall be thrust upon you. Only you will know if you are ready as you rise to the peak, the throne beneath you.
This is expected.
Right.
So humble.
Grim knows this is coming. Yes. Okay. There you go. And okay, come on, Mr. Tentacles. Come on, everyone. Just stick him back in his. Go hide back in his armor. So.
All the things that slither back into Grimm's armor. You guys do still have like Midnight and well, you two don't have yours. But you know, Bropsy still has hers as well. Like you guys still have your entities around you at all times. Just to remember that. Because they can still like do things. They act as a familiar, so you can still send them under things you can't fit through and shit like that. Just
Grim's just hide in his armor and
yeah. All right.
Looks to Cleary. Is Cleary going next?
Cleary says, "I have no need for fortune. I threw that away a long time ago."
I can't recommend it. It was a nope. Don't like it.
Larry, you're just saying that to sound cool.
I guess Mitnir's gonna pull out his story stick for a second though, and just kind of look at the carving he did. Just
Look at the carving you did, and you
Yeah.
See if
see,
it comes out the same.
and all you see is a key.
Yeah, no, he just kind of looks at it like. You didn't like Grim. How bad is it? Not having a
How
shadow.
bad is what? Oh, Grim doesn't care. It's a shadow.
It feels cold. I didn't realize my shadow was keeping me warm.
Kind of lifts his feet, looking at his shadow,
Maybe you'll need more mushrooms, and dirt, and fur.
and then he'll stick out his hand.
Very well. He shakes your hand, and you watch as your shadow disappears, and you feel the same sort of like shiver of cold, as if you're being exposed to something you weren't before. Draw a card from the deck. You go to draw. Only one card comes. Draw the key card.
Legit.
Did you actually?
Yeah. I drew the key card. It's fucking meant to be, bro.
He looks at you for a second, and his eyes turn black, and he says, "A dream will bring answers to the questions you seek. You will find the path, you will find meaning. Morpheus leads the way to the answer." And his eyes close back. He goes, "Oh, a formidable fortune indeed."
Just kind of shivers a little bit at the shadow being gone. Just like, thank you. I think that's a thank you.
Of course. Anyone else?
It's Cleary left.
There was just like, "I'll do it if the rest of you think that it's useful or helpful. If there's, because if that fortune is true, the answers we need are worth getting."
I mean, it's probably not necessary. Only
I
if
think
you're
we're-
interested.
If that's the case, then thank you very much, Odwin. Besides, I know what you are. And he goes, "Of course you do, old one. Well, thank you for
Goblin.
treating my friends kindly. Not a goblin, Nilbog." Yes.
Well, thank you, I guess. I was
Yes,
hoping for a little
of
peace of mind,
course.
but instead I got the opposite.
I am sorry for your treacherous future. Perhaps after that, something good will come your way.
One can only hope. All right, let's go spend some money.
Hold on to that
But
bag
we're
tightly.
still waiting on. I thought we were. Or was Cleary not doing one?
No.
No.
He's not doing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
let's
as you
go
guys
spin
walk
some
out and begin to
tokens.
move around, you notice there are no shadows beneath you. And it is weird for a moment because you don't expect to see a shadow necessarily when you're moving around and walking around, but the absence of it is palpable.
Make sure to stand in front of every like big light source as we're walking.
Yeah. And you guys see the shadows of others, but like whereas you are lumbering about where others might be, there's just a gap.
Seti does
It's
minor
strange.
illusion to make it look like she still has a shadow.
All right. You do that.
And her shadow does like a little jig.
Yeah, it's never quite synced up with you properly, ever.
Like a
So-
second and a half delay.
There's a little lag, like a little stutter.
It's like somebody in the mirror trying really hard to mimic you, but
Oh, that reminds me of a dog video I need to show you.
oh yeah.
It was a
I do
dance
like
routine
that.
with a girl and her Australian Shepherd where they were like looking at each other in a mirror and like mirroring each other.
Adorable.
It was so cute.
So what would you guys like to do? You're in the House of Fate. You've spoken to the Lady of House.
We gotta spend
Lady
some
of
money
House, Lady
and
of
we
the House.
gotta relax. I think maybe I want to relax in the baths first because
Alright.
I am stressed out right now.
Cleary agrees with this, and as you all, anybody who doesn't like, you don't have to, Grim, since you don't like.
Grim does it the bath. No
But this
bath
is
for
not.
Grim.
This is different than like a bath where you clean yourself with soap. This is an open air hot spring.
I mean, he can go in there and like breathe, but he's not gonna
Yeah.
get in the water.
That's fine. Everybody else, if you choose to spend an hour there, you will gain the benefits of a long rest.
Okay.
You can only do this once every 24 hours, but these hot springs are a place to get a long rest in 1 hour.
Good to know.
What time is it
Um,
now? Time of day, by the way?
Now it's going to be close to like later into the day. I would say it's probably about like 6 p.m. or so. Like you guys took a while to get here. You spent your whole day gambling and doing puzzles. It took longer than it took you in game, for sure. So this is most of your day is spent here, and by the time you traveled back to where you're going to be resting for the night, it will have been the whole day spent.
Okay. I just was wondering if we had time to
So-
stop by.
During this hour that you guys are taking time resting, Orin, you have a slight malfunction in the body.
Uh-oh.
It appears somebody has seen an opportunity to give you gills.
Archibald?
You look around, nobody's admitting to it, and Bropsy is ashamed that she never saw who did it. But along the path of this, someone said, why wouldn't he have gills? We're all aquatic people here. Why would we build a body without them? Why? Is kind of the impression that everyone seems to get when they look around. It's like, no, I get it though. Like, why wouldn't we do lungs? It might have been a pack of them. It might have been one that could have been a ringleader or somebody who lied about it, but nobody seems to be fessing up. Either way, currently you have gills. You still have lungs, the ones that were formed and naturally created, but they seem to have been fucked with significantly.
Like, would this body still be able to breathe outside of water? Or is it like...
Currently, you're not sure. I mean, it seems, yes, probably, but whatever they did, you don't know for sure.
Have Bropsy make a medicine check on them.
We'll get you a reverse breathing helmet. It just keeps the water in.
Yeah, have Bropsy can go ahead and do that if you'd like.
She's the air expert.
Medicine check, you said?
Mhm.
What? 18? Oh,
Bless
God,
you.
I said that while sneezing.
18.
Jesus.
Based on what you see, not only would this thing have a hard time breathing air, but it would have a hard time breathing water. It seems like whatever this person decided to do, they did not hybridize anything. They just kind of added lungs, and in a way, they just perforated your lungs. However, the organs are functioning incredibly well in Vedava's nectar. So, these lungs plus gills together would make it so that your primary atmosphere would be Vedava's nectar if this were to be allowed to proceed.
That's very helpful if you want to spend the rest of your life in a fish tank.
Yeah.
So, noticing this obvious problem, you have been set back slightly on your designs, and part of the endocrine system will need to be repaired or regrown. Not endocrine, respiratory.
Great.
At this time, when
Yeah.
Rachel does re-arrive, there is recompense for all there, and a lot of people are removed. Only the most trusted staff members will be allowed in from this day forward.
They're lucky I don't have a temper, or I'd be
Yeah.
blasting bitches in his room.
While
I have
later that
expected
night,
For one day.
Bropsy is scolding people. Full mom
She's
mode. I'm
like
I'm
running
not
after them with her
mad.
feathers all fluffed up. Get out.
no. I'm not mad. I'm just
Disappointed.
disappointed.
yeah,
That's worse.
everybody feels bad, and a lot of people quit their job. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm surprised Oren's not going, maybe I do need gills.
All right.
Not like
So
that.
after this moment of chaos, and you guys receive a call from Oring saying, "Hey guys, could you get back here sooner rather than later? Somebody put gills on me. I need Grim, please. Just to put words in your mouth.
Well, maybe it does
when
need
you-
skills.
when
Maybe
you
it
guys-
does need gills.
You guys get a message. You guys get a message
Should I
from
have
Orin
added gills?
saying as much. Meanwhile, you guys have finished whatever soaking that you decided to do. You feel refreshed, except for Grim, who did not go into the water, obviously, or anybody else who chose not to. You did not get refreshed. But you find yourself back in the open space of the House of Fate, and the prize room is right in front of you. So,
Yep, let's spend our money.
as you look into this, you see that there are several items in display. They are arranged in a sort of pyramid-like fashion up the wall. The lower grade materials at the bottom are listed for 250 tokens, whereas there's a single item at the very top of this pyramid that seems to be listed for 10,000 tokens.
What is that item?
That is listed. It appears to be a wand, about maybe 15 inches long, with a thread attached to it and a very strange shape. And it is written as the Spindle of Fate.
Well, is there like a person at like the prize counter?
There is the person that also did your checkout stuff.
Oh,
He
okay.
goes, "Oh, welcome. How can I help you guys out? I'll be more than happy to set you up with a prize, or if you'd like to exchange your tokens back from Aqua or back the way you took them for, we can do that easy peasy."
What's with that wand up there?
Oh, that there is a special item, the Spindle of Fate. Currently, our highest rated item that is open for direct purchase. That and several other items are available through for the random grab bag. At each level, as you see, and you can see that there's like a list of like different colored bags that are just up top. He's like, choose your bag and I'll grab one down for you. And it's guaranteed to have a high rated item that is of equal or similar value to the ones shown next to them. So you look and you see that on the bottom row, I'm just going to start with the uncommon items. You see what appears to be a set of armor with mushrooms growing out of it, called the armor of fungal spores. There seems to be an armor of bones, and like it seems to be made out of like parts of the deceased. There are 2 decks. One is listed as the deck of miscellany, and the other the deck of wonder. And then there is a sort of small quiver of winged arrows. The rare set has another deck listed as the deck of oracles. a singular thorny earthen-like whip called the Grasping Whip. There seems to be a singular ring with a serpent on it, listed as the Sage's Signet. There is also a pair of greaves that are malformed and twisted. They have screaming faces on them. These kind of look like a pair of boots that you've seen Mood in Path of Exile. You know what I'm talking about, the screaming greaves?
Yes. Yes.
They look like that, and they are in fact called Shrieking Greaves. There's another set of armor called the Void Walker armor that is very strange to look at. There is a dagger called the Baleful Talon. This is the next, the very rare. Dagger called the Baleful Talon, the deck of wild cards. Hammer that seems to be called the Hammer of Runic Focus, a Obsidian Skull helmet, and listed it says, your choice of Forcebreaker weapon. So you can choose what kind of Forcebreaker weapon it is, but they are used to break fields of force. That is denoted. Such as Wall of Force or things like that. These are the things that are listed for direct purchase. Otherwise, there's the grab bags. The price listed for each section is to buy direct is 500 for the uncommons, 1,000 for the rares, 4,000 for the very rares, and 10,000 for the Spindle of Fate. For the grab bags, it's 250 for uncommon, 500 for rare, 2,000 for very rare, and 5,000 for legendary.
For legendary.
I thought we
I
just
think
get
we
two
should-
legendary bags.
Yeah, stick with the whole fate thing this place is about and get 2 bags. And we still have a little
Wait,
left over after that.
You
So
get
wait,
a
what were
couple
the
rare
prices for
bags,
the
too.
grab bags again? 250.
5.
250, 500, 1,000, 2,000,
2,000.
2,000, and 5,000. So if you guys did just a little bit of extra gambling, you could potentially
Yeah, I
get
kinda
enough
wanna-
for another very rare bag.
I kind of want to get a very rare bag too. Yeah.
Go gamble the 51.
Rollies! Rollies!
Does anybody want to roll these with me?
Go
With
move.
those
Do we do
51?
rollies or do we do?
Well, how much more do you need?
We need 449.
Oh, right. It's 5. We have 550.
So
Yeah, you only need 459.
you can
Oh
give me
wait, but
500.
we have 300 Aquam with us too, though.
We do have 300 aqua.
300 more Aquam.
Actually, and I
But-
have 13 Aquam in my pocket too.
It's 200 per person, and as a group, you guys only did 200, so you could go up to 1,000 total. So you could do more. I think that's what you're trying to say. Sorry, Beelan, was that there was a limit?
Yeah, it was 200 a day.
Yeah, but it's per person.
I thought they were restricted to the group.
That was just with what they purchased as a group. That was
Yeah,
being
we
compared
divided
for the
up what we
2,000.
purchased.
But
Yeah,
since
we
it was
we didn't
purchase,
max out.
Yes, could have gone to
So-
500 if you did multiple purchases per person.
So we could buy more.
You certainly could. But you still wouldn't quite be all the way there.
Yeah, no, we could still gamble some of it.
You want to take your 51 and rollies?
Oh god, I'd have to roll a lot to do it. I can do it if we want to try it that way.
You don't have to roll that much. Just keep double or nothing each time.
Yeah, you could just
Right.
go 51 and double or nothing, and if it misses, you're like, well, that sucked.
Yeah, sure,
Well-
let's do it.
All
I
right.
mean, that seems like not the best way of going about that.
I'm just saying if you want to save on time. But go ahead and if you're going to do any rollies, tell me how much you're betting, and then roll 2d20s, because I'm also rolling 2d20s, and higher number wins.
I mean, unless you guys want to try and do it a different way, like
Waiting for suggestions.
all right, let's do it. We'll do 50 though. I'll just do the 50.
Save one.
Yep,
All right, roll. I have my numbers.
I got a 15 as my high number.
My highest was a 14. You win 50 coins. You're up to 100.
All right, so I'm at 100. All right, 100 coins.
So now
Oh,
we're getting
God.
bet 100. Okay.
All right.
Oh boy, 13.
19, baby.
Yeah.
Oh
There you
dear,
go.
there goes 100.
But we're only down 50, really, is the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
we're only
don't
down
use
Okay.
the prize option, so it doesn't matter.
So we still have we have 1500.
Go
And
again with the
the-
one.
1500.
Go again.
The rares are,
You could buy a rare outright for 1,000.
but the
Or
rare
you could-
grab bags are
You could do a rare
500.
grab for 500 apiece. Yeah.
So we could just do 3 rares. For
You could just do 3 rares
1500.
and 2 legendaries.
Yeah, why
But
don't
that
we
would
just do
not
that?
give you access to any of the very rare. Would be the downside. So you guys wouldn't be rolling on the very rare chart at all.
Hmm.
But that's
I
okay.
feel like we
if
want
that's
to
what you
roll
wanna
on
do.
the very rare chart, right? Like,
Wasn't
of
the
this-
higher?
We can also always, if we need to, do some off-stream gambling for more rolls.
You sure
We can
can.
come back here any day.
put a pin
Mm,
on it. Let's
So,
deal with it.
Let's do the 2 bigs and 1 very rare, and we can pocket the rest and come back with it.
It was legendary.
But
Was
we can't afford the
5,000
very
each,
rare
right?
for
You
now.
can't afford the very rare right now. That's the
well,
problem.
okay, we could do the other 2 and then hold the rest if you want to get a very rare.
Well, we can come back and we can just get
Wait,
more
so-
Aquaman than just.
Legendary's 5,000.
Yes.
I think we
What's-
should do the 2 legendary no matter what. I think that's
Yeah.
because we have that. We can do that.
Unless we
That's
want the
definitely
spindle
gonna
of
be better.
fate.
Which
No.
who knows if we do or not. I don't think it's worth it to just
I'm
buy
not sure any
a
of us can
random
actually
wand.
use a wand. Very
The
well.
spindle is
I can use
also
a
in the
wand.
grab bag, is it not?
We don't
Where
know.
did
You
my
know.
thing go? Hold
You
on.
don't know what's in it. Oh,
Sorry.
Um,
Grim
I-
broke.
no, I'm fixing it. It just like
Do the grab bags.
it like crapped out. Sorry.
All right. So if you guys just say if you guys want to just go ahead and do the 2 legendary grab bags, go ahead and roll. Somebody roll a d20 for me.
I would like to roll one of the d20s if we're doing 2 of them.
I'll roll the d20.
You cannot get a repeat. So if you roll 1, then you roll it again.
The other option is, Grim, you give me the rest of the money and we just go big and see if we get.
No, I'm not gonna give you the rest of the money. I'd rather sit and play. Also, I can sit and play
Well, I rolled
blackjack
a
and get us to
9.
2,000 if you guys want. You want me to do that? I can take
Then
I
you
can
got
take
the
the other
item you wanted.
1,500.
What did I get?
You got the item you wanted.
What did I want?
It is.
Hurrah!
The spindle.
You got an item just now called the Jester's Mask.
17 is the one I rolled.
You may look up this item because they will give you a card that tells you what it does.
17 is the other.
17 is the other?
Yeah.
You pull out a wooden box, and with it, there's a note that says, "It seems you could not escape this fate after all."
Do I recognize that box? Is that the same fucking box?
No, it's just a wooden box now.
Yeah, it's not a very ornate box.
Yeah,
it's
the other
just
one
a
was
wooden
ornate.
box.
I need somebody to roll me 3d20s.
3
Each of us want to roll one, or do we want all 3?
Each
By
of you roll me
I-
one, and
I was gonna say I already rolled in that one today, so my luck better be
I
good.
will.
now.
I will. Yeah. Well, we 3 are here.
The
Let's
3 of
just
us
each
that
roll
are
a
here will
d20.
each roll a
Yeah,
d20.
yeah.
Okay, sure.
Ready, go.
10.
9.
13.
10, 9, and
So-
13.
What's that? 32?
32.
32. All right. The last one. So you notice that inside of this is a deck with 41 cards in it.
So not the same, because the other one was 66.
The other one was the full deck. This one is reduced. However, it has cards from both things. I will compile this deck for you later. But will somebody please write down that you have a 41 card deck of many more things?
Dun dun dun.
Okay.
And now Grim is gonna go play blackjack with our remaining 1,500, so I can get you guys the.
I will, if I still have
the-
50, I guess, from the original, Gritton can have.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the-
So
all the
everybody
tokens
pulls
we have
their
left.
tokens
Yeah,
together.
I'll just take the 1500. I'll take the 1500 and just go play some blackjack real quick.
I hand you the
Okay.
one.
1500
Oh, that's right. We still have the
and
one. Yeah.
That's the one token that you play around with while you're gambling, right?
Yeah. All right. So with that, guys, you pulled those two things, and they are yours. You receive a box with a deck of cards, and the second that this happened, they say, "With this purchase, you actually need to go back upstairs and talk to the lady again."
Wait. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
You make your way up the stairs, just one of you, and the lady says, "Oh boy, it seems that Lady Fate would not let you go."
yeah, that's what the card said. How did? Is it
Oh,
rigged?
I don't make those grab bags, dear. I leave that up to fate.
I mean, you can't like fate's a person in the back room stuffing grab bags full of stuff.
No, not as such. But I let the magics of the chaos and the will of
Oh gosh, I don't remember the god's name.
the goddess of fate wash over the minions that put those boxes together. They are her servants. They are the servants of fate, not me.
Well, what do we need to talk about then?
You need to talk about that. That's the deck of many things there, hun.
Yeah.
It's just important that you realize that bad things can come from it. When you
Yep.
draw from that deck, you must intend to draw from it. No tricking people. Please don't trick people with my decks. If you to trick
Right.
somebody, they must know that they are drawing from the deck for it to work. Otherwise, you are simply handing them a card. Also, likewise, you can shuffle this deck and draw cards from it all you want as long as you are not drawing from it. Somebody tell
Drawing with a
Starbuck to stop
capital
scratching
D.
on the thing.
Starbuck, that is not a scratching post.
I like how you did that in the SETI accent.
So,
Right.
just remember, and when you declare you're drawing, you declare how many cards you would like to draw. And you must draw that many. There is no stopping it once it has begun. Since you have this with you, there is one thing I will change. This is a gift from me. Use it wisely. And you watch as she gestures, and the flower in your hand changes to that of a dandelion.
The flower I picked earlier? Changed into
That
it.
there can be used as a wish. Please use it if you go into a very, very awful situation as my little gift to get you through.
Right. So if we mess with the deck and something bad happens, we can use this to get out of the bad.
You think about it as a get out of jail free card, but within reason. A lot of these are so dangerous that a wish can only help you in your task.
Right. You see, this is why I took the tokens.
I am sorry, dear. You may always leave the deck somewhere. Choose not to use it. But the deck has sought you out either way.
Yes, if I put it in a black pit somewhere, am I going to wake up with it under my pillow the next morning?
Who could say? My guess is no. My guess is you will just be leaving a completely unpredictable artifact for some random passerby to find and then get themselves into heaps of trouble.
I will protect this with all the respect it is due.
I'm surprised you pulled that, dear. To my knowledge, if you were just a little bit higher, you would have gotten the one thing you needed.
Oh, don't tell me that. What is the one thing I need?
I cannot say it this time, because it's not yet time.
Better
Best of
gamble, more
luck,
steady.
dear.
Can I redo it? Can I put this back in and...
Sorry, dear, the fates have chosen.
Well, Grim's
Mulligan.
still playing blackjack, so we'll see if we get another roll.
I'm still playing blackjack.
Well,
God, oof. Because I would be lying if I said I wasn't already sorely tempted to see if I could get a bit of luck out of this. Something to help with our dire straits.
Well,
That is the trouble.
maybe wait till next week.
Why? What's next week?
The
He's gotta make
gods
the
have to
deck.
choose what cards are in the deck.
Well, thank you, I suppose. Hopefully I don't regret coming here. But I appreciate the help.
I guess worst case scenario, at least you got a nice cup of tea. Best of luck to you, dear. May the fates truly be on your side.
Thank you.
So, as you take your prizes, what would you guys like to do? Are you going to head out?
Said he puts her
Leave
Jester's
Grim
mask
there
on.
to do more? Did you read it? It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
In case you forget, you were gonna get Aquam on the way back.
We are going to get Aquam on the way back. Yes.
You are too late for Aquam. You have missed the Aquam shower.
That's
Boom.
right. We will get
There we
Aquam
go.
first
You
next,
Got it.
next
One
shower.
You got yourself up to 2K?
Well, I got annoyed and I bet 500 and I hit a blackjack, so
Nice.
Hell yeah.
that got the
See,
double.
If we just given me 500 on the first roll, I would have been done.
So that put me at 2100 now. So we can roll on the very rare.
And
Just
then
gonna
cash
roll
out
what,
100
D20?
Or we
Pretty
can
much
try to
without
go for
100.
another 5,000 and get, what, a 14? Is that what we... No, 18? We need to roll an 18 on the very...
18, 19, or
on
20.
the
yeah.
legendaries.
Do you want me to keep
Actually,
playing?
you were too often. You want to get like a 19 or 20 if you want the
Do
best.
you want Grim to just keep playing blackjack?
She
No, you gotta
said-
roll Tilted Lungs.
She said if we'd rolled higher, we would have gotten the item we needed.
You
I
need
know,
it.
I need to have it now.
Then
I
he's
said
like
no,
right
I didn't
behind
know.
Grim, going, "Keep going, keep going."
Don't worry, it's probably
Grim?
better you didn't get it. Just go ahead and do your 2000 thing. I shouldn't have said anything.
But now I
Is it
want to
a
know what it
D20?
is.
No.
Maybe one day.
It's a D20 for the thing.
Oh yeah, are you rolling very rare?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll a d20.
Okay. It's an 8.
Oh. All right, you got a deck of wild cards.
Okay. More decks.
Oh, that's
Maybe
the
somebody
one
other
that
than Grim.
we don't want that.
Every time Grim rolls, he rolls a deck. Should somebody else roll?
I think there's a lot of decks in here.
Look, if you guys want to re-roll this, because like I get it. If you guys want to re-roll the very rare one,
Well,
I will
actually,
let
you know
somebody
what?
who hasn't gotten to roll, i.e. Beelan or Nikita, to roll for it instead of you guys, because you've been doing all the rolling so far.
Well,
Let
actually,
it be very
Mood
lucky,
didn't
not
roll
yours.
an item yet. It was just me and Sim. who
Okay,
rolled.
we can do it that way as well if you want.
Do you guys? I'll re-roll it if you want. I don't
Unless-
mind
yeah,
another
yeah.
deck.
If
It's
you
just
don't,
fun.
I know you guys don't want more decks. It's fine if you want to.
We already got one deck.
So
This is a
one
different
more.
kind of deck. It's actually a weapon. So
Oh.
Is it really a weapon?
it is, in fact, a weapon. It turns you into
Oh.
Gambit, basically. You can throw
Well.
cards, and they do ranged attack damage, and they also like explode in different kinds of effects.
Oh, well, that's cool, but also
It's pretty cool. But also, you guys really
Completely
don't.
useless for us.
All right. So what? It's a D20.
Yep.
it's gonna roll an 8.
That's a natural 20.
Oh boy, that's not cool. You get the Wraps of Unarmed Prowess, very rare version. Looks like
Okay.
Orin has new clothes.
Or the new body.
Or Mitnir could wear them.
I'm watching Mitnir just beating.
It's clothes. It's just clothes. So it's usually like, okay, now I'm unarmed. Go pick up Tavern Brawler feet. Next thing we know,
Can you? I just like.
Mitnir's a fucking monk.
Yeah. Still a weapon, but much more fun.
How much was the deck of oracles?
The
Just out of
deck of
curiosity.
oracles. was from the rare, so 1,000 gold.
So what's the very rare
1,000
version? Is it the +3?
It's +3, yeah.
It's a +3. That would actually be useful because I don't get a plus on my unarmed strikes.
Yeah, that would give him +3 to his unarmed strikes. That's damage.
That's pretty
at-
Pretty good.
Yeah, for a monk, that is the best clothing.
And they
that
don't
is
even
for a
require
monk
any
in the
kind
game,
of
as far as I'm aware.
attunement or anything.
No,
Nope.
they're OP as fuck.
Yeah,
A lot
that's
of
great.
wondrous items don't require attunement.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but just
When
like
I
the
saw
fact
that
that
you
it's
rolled
like
that, when the
a
second I saw that you rolled
you
a
know?
20, I was like, oh, that's so fucked. That's so fucked. Those are so fucking good, dude. Oh my god.
Well, and it's
That's the
great
reason
because
I
like
put them on
monks don't
20.
typically get like great like great weapons, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
But you did it on the rare one. If you'd have done it on an uncommon, I would have been like, all right, sure, whatever, right? But you did it on the very rare. I was like, oh, dog. Like even the rare would have been fine.
The
But
only
it was
thing
20
better
on
than
all three of
these
them.
would be the gloves of soul catching.
Yeah.
Those things are
You guys
those
already
are
missed your shot
just-
at those. You're never
those
gonna
are
get those now.
broken. Those are just like those things
shot-
should not exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're insane.
The cloak of invisibility is up for grabs if anybody wants a cloak of invisibility to attune to.
Yeah, and the ring, honestly, if anybody wants it. I'm not using it.
Wait, we have a ring of invisibility also?
Mhm.
Yeah. Now the ring is different from the
Yeah.
because the cloak you
the
can
cloak has
you can-
it has a specific amount of time on the cloak, and it goes down. And once it's down, the cloak is just a normal cloak.
It
but
regenerates.
the difference between the cloak
Oh, it
is the cloak the cloak actions don't dispel your invisibility.
Yeah.
So the cloak
Yeah.
is greater invisibility, but it's
basically.
limited time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only use
the
it a
ring-
minute at a time, I believe.
Right. The ring is normal invisibility, but it has no limit to the amount of use you can use. So you can just keep using it forever, but if you attack or cast a spell, you become visible. But you can use it unlimited amount of time forever. So they're different. So like the cloak you can use in combat and stay invisible.
Imagine Mitnir being invisible and walking up and smacking everybody and then going back invisible.
Mitnir with a cloak of invisibility actually would be pretty nasty.
It's just like, why am I
What
getting
the fuck just hit me?
eviscerated? What is happening?
Yeah.
Uh,
Like
so
a ring
those
of
are-
invisibility would be really good for like, well, actually no, because that one requires an action.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
All right. So with that, you guys have gotten your prizes. Unless you want to do any more dicking around at the House of Fate or the market outside, you are welcome to once again
Oh, we didn't check out the
Make your
market.
make your way back to Temple of Vedava so that for the second half of the session we can move on.
Yeah,
our
let's move
actual
on.
plot
Let's
line.
move on.
All right, so as you guys see the hag and satyr and dryad sitting outside trying to peddle their wares, you say, "Not worth my time," and you I assume that Grim probably has a spell to turn you back into.
Well, no, because that was a one per day. Well, actually, I could cast it at a higher level.
You also could have just gotten the hot springs and you would have been fine. But just kidding.
I mean, unless he could put his feet in, I guess. But like,
Nah, it's,
you
yeah,
know,
no, you gotta submerge. You gotta soak. It's fine. You get
no,
the,
I can just cast
Yeah.
it at 7th
that's
level
fine.
and just
There
do
you
it
go.
that way. Yeah.
So as you guys windwalk your way back home, everybody
Since
finds
the storm's already
rest.
passed, right? The Aquam storm was already
Mhm.
passed.
We missed it.
Yeah,
The
then
Aquam
yeah,
storm's
you
already
just
passed.
walk.
You guys just windwalk your way back, and as you all find respite for the evening after much of your work, is there anything anybody else wants to do before we go to bed?
I can take a look at the gills real quick just to figure out what the hell I gotta do tomorrow.
Yeah, so thinking about that, you do take a peek at the lungs, but it's far too much to really dive into tonight. So
like just a medicine check, a 26 medicine check, just to give it like a okay.
somebody
What is this?
somebody
Real
did
quick?
some real fucked up stuff to this thing. They added gills that are attached directly to the esophagus in a way that you wouldn't be able to get enough air if you were trying to breathe normally. Nor would you be able to. Is there any filtering system that changes water into air for your lungs or anything like that? So you would drown very quickly in water, and you would have a very hard time breathing air.
Yeah. So this is probably like a gonna have to require surgery kind of deal.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Yeah.
you're going to need to disconnect that from what it is, or somehow create a system that changes water into air, or some other sort of flaps or anything else. And then you have to get the mind to know how to work it. So you have to like kind of add that into what's going on. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Probably.
just normal lungs, please. I don't need all
Yeah,
this.
I think this is one of those cases where you just know we're gonna remove that and then
Yep.
just heal the tissue.
Cool. So
Because
what would everybody like to do with the rest of their week as we are moving on to something proper? Is there anything anybody would like to do this week specifically? We already know that Archibald Egelman is working on the brain and will be, he estimates, finished by the end of the week. What is everybody else working on?
apparently I'm helping repair the lungs and removing the gills from them.
Yep.
Yes.
And we
So
have
that's going to take you.
The skin is coming at some point.
I would say that would probably take you maybe about half the week to figure out how to properly undo what this guy did, because he did some weird stuff and it's pretty well in there. But you figure out what to do in the first day, prep it in the second day, and get it done in the third day. So that's going to take about half your week to undo the mistake, Grim.
Yeah.
That time can be shortened with the help of Bropsy down to 2 days. Otherwise, 4 days in, you have 3 days left in your week to figure out something to do, Grim, if you want to think on that.
Yeah, and then if for whatever's left in my week, I'd probably just go pound on things because I'm mad that somebody fucked up my work.
Okay, so you're just gonna go training.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get 3 more days of
Because
training.
I think I've done 1.5 weeks, so this would bring me up to 2.
This will bring you up to 2 weeks, yeah. So you're up to 2
Yeah.
weeks now.
Because I think when somebody destroys like your organs that you've
Yeah.
grown from nothing, you'd probably be you want to go beat something up.
But you do get it back into what you consider working condition. Oren, at this point, you put most of the body together. It seems to be suspended, and the process of growing muscle is the biggest thing that has not happened 100% yet. The muscles themselves are developing, but compared to your own muscles, they are a lot weaker. They're a lot less coordinated as well. It would be easier for you to, in a sense, you think, develop them more before you get back into the body, or do something to add to them. They are still growing at a fast rate, especially with the hybridization of spores that Grim, still unknown to you, has done to them. They are growing fairly well, but they're not there yet, and you're not sure if they're going to be where you want them to be. During this time, if you would like, you could research ways to increase the muscle growth, or you can just work on your other projects. What would you like to do?
Grim has ways of doing that. Grim knows ways.
Grim is bounding stuff the rest of the week.
No, but if he wants, because we did make a giant pig with alchemy. So we could use some notes from that. I don't know if that Grim has an official method, but we could,
Curious if my radiant energy would help in any way, so I might try and research that a bit and see if I can, send radiant surges of energy through the muscle system.
Use it as like a sort of stimulus.
Yeah.
You could certainly try. So what I would like you to do is, in this case, make me a religion check.
Cool, I have a +10 on those.
Nice.
But I rolled a 2, so that's a 12.
So as you begin to try to channel your energy into it, you begin to, but you very quickly figure out that by doing this, you would also be putting in trace amounts of energies that aren't celestial, that aren't, because you've been so influenced and your body is mixed with that of Northought, there is still a bit of far realm energy that could go into that. So I think that sort of deters you from following this procedure much further.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
It takes you a day.
Yeah, I was gonna
to
say,
figure out.
I assume that doesn't take too long. For at least another. I don't think it'll take the rest of the week, but I'll get Seti and Cleary's help to finish that amulet.
Yeah, okay. I guarantee Cleary will take the time to spend working on that with you.
So basically, what I want it to do is, the wearer can basically bind a willing or unconscious creature into the amulet, and while the creature's in there, they feel like they're in a safe environment, so it mimics their inner realm. That's basically what I want it to do.
Cool. With that, I'm going to have each of you make me a roll. You give me your tinkering check. Cleary's going to do an Arcana check. And Seti, what is it that you would say that you use the most when you were developing your demiplane?
I mean, stats, skill wise,
Would it just be an Arcana roll? Or do you think she would have used something else?
I
Other
mean,
means of creating it?
yeah, I think maybe you
Maybe
could argue like some kind of like
performance or something?
artistry, like but that's performance isn't really
It's not quite the same.
It's like imagination is what she was using, right? And then just like codifying that with magic. The same way she sings stuff and magic happens. But there's
Well,
not
go
really
ahead
a
and make me a
good
performance
stat,
check.
so
I will say give me a performance check to see like you used music as the basics to create your demiplane to call it into existence. That is acceptable considering that you were a bard. Go ahead and roll me that.
24.
24. Well, Cleary rolled. Let me go to Cleary's character sheet real quick.
I got 21 on the Tinker check.
21 on Tinker. Where is your Arcana? Okay, and he gets advantage. Okay, so he rolled a 28 on his Arcana. So he was easily able to do the theorems while Seti was able to do the extra work within the inner realm to help you finalize this item. It is successfully created, but it will take you, with their help, the rest of the week. So Seti would have to spend the rest of her week working on this. Are you okay with that, Seti?
I guess so.
All right, so if you're doing that, you spend the rest of the week working on it. Cleary spends the rest of the week working on it. You have completed it, and it is not only done, but it is well done. And then, if you wanted to, you could always get Mitnir to do some breathing on it.
Well, if he wants to.
That is a 46, so nothing special.
36, nothing special. So, the important things to note about this demiplane, it functions as you wish. Also, the creatures inside do not age. They do not require food or water or oxygen. They do not require anything.
Can I move in?
Yeah, a person can go in there. People are considered a creature.
Yeah.
That is a place
Say
where
that
you can
sounds
keep
nice.
somebody where they are in a demiplane that mimics their inner realm, and they do not need to eat, drink, or sleep, or breathe. They'll still do something that is like breathing, but it's like the Matrix. Do you think that's air you're breathing?
Cool.
Cool.
Just
So
make that while we continue.
with that, as you complete your item, Mitnir, what would you like to do with the rest of your week?
I think he's gonna just go out into the, I don't know, the town area or whatever, and just he's gonna try and like tell people stories and that of new death. Like he's just gonna kind of like.
Sure, make me a performance check.
That's not terrible. That's a 15.
You begin to spread the story of New Death, and many of them heard about New Death. They know that this is the adventuring party that broke thousands of years of these people being trapped in here, unaging, never moving forward. A quixotic lock, this paradise that never evolved, never changed. And now, finally, with your arrival and changing it into this massive place, your name's already known. But as you begin to spread stories of your other adventures, people begin to understand you in a deeper way than they did before. They begin to know the names of the members of New Death. They know Seti Mera, the unbelievable musician who can conjure dreams like her strange father, which I'm sure you don't tell any secrets about who that might be, but like her strange father, she can manipulate the dreams of others. They know of Mitnir and the Blue Man Group and their ties. And once people know that you're tied to the Blue Man Group, that's like a huge, like, wow, I can't believe it. Bropsy, who can call forth the wind and change her shape into myriad of forms. The king of mushrooms, as they call him, Grim, the one who can from his body produce more spores than Zugtamoy.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's the rumors that are now spreading because of Mitnir. Cleary Asintoff, the ancient lover of the moon, who once humped the moon, or so the story goes.
The craters had to come from somewhere.
It had to come from somewhere. It's Cleary's massive dick.
End of the week,
and
Mitnir
Orin, the man who can shoot lasers out of his fist and sometimes fly, but not all the time, but sometimes flies. And no matter how many times you kill him, he will always come back from the dead.
So at the end of the week, he'll go back to like the library and the tower thing of ours,
Mm-hmm.
and just looks at the how to become a god book and it's like gain followers and just puts a little check mark.
20 followers, and yeah, there we go. First step towards godhood. With that, Bropsy, what do you spend the rest of your week doing?
I don't friggin' know. If I'm not babysitting, I'm gonna train because that's like
All
all
right,
I know.
so you spend the rest of your week training. Go ahead and put 6 days on your training.
Okay.
As you spent 1 day aiding Orin. And then I don't know how close you are to leveling up. But
No idea.
you're not writing these down anywhere?
I am.
Then you should have an idea.
She has spent. I've been keeping track.
Is this week 6 or 7?
6.
Bropsy, you have completed 2
Okay.
weeks of leveling up so far.
Okay, so with that, another week begins
That
to
would
come
be
to a
3.
close. We're somewhere near the last day of the week. You hear, well, of course it's completed because I'm the best. Oh, look at me. Eureka, Eureka, I made a brain. And with that, we will go ahead and take our break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys, to start week 7 and move on to the more demanding work on saving our friend Orin. So see you in about 5 minutes, guys. And we are back. So, as you hear Archibald Eagleman screaming to the skies, Eureka, I've done it! I've made a brain! We start our following week. Week 7, right? Out of...
Yes, we are starting week 7.
7 out of 16?
Something
Yes.
like that.
7 out
Almost
of
halfway
16.
there.
So you guys are almost halfway there, and you've mostly finished Orin's body. At this point, you guys see as Archibald comes running out towards where the rest of you are, holding in his hands what appears to be like a golden base. You can still see the sort of crystal shards that create a sort of strange, quasi-mechanical, quasi-mineral, sort of cerebral cortex situation at the base. Like it looks like a bunch of chips put into slots that are mechanical, and they seem to be like serving small purposes. The rest seems to be a sort of artificially shaped brain-like glass sphere at the top. throughout the entire thing is floating a sort of liquid that doesn't quite look like Vedeva's nectar, but seems to have tiniest little fractals all throughout it. He says, "This will be a perfect brain. I'm so very excited to put it inside of you. Oh, well, it reacts so well. This was the greatest masterpiece that I think I might have ever made as an actual artificier." He shows it to you. It's exquisite. Like, you're not even 100% sure you know how it works, but it is an artificial brain like you've never seen.
Probably just kind of looking at it in awe.
It's like, that's gonna go there on your noggin. Now that I've made your brain, let's talk price.
Sure.
Yes, funny, but I'm a merchant at the end of the day, guys.
Oh yeah, no,
What do you
makes
need?
perfect sense.
Well, supply and demand, friend. This thing, you need it to live. And I could really use some cash, Ola.
Okay.
Or mayhaps an item that I could then put within my bags to be sold at another place for more coinage.
Do you accept Eaglebucks?
If you have enough Eaglebucks.
We could pay for part of it in Eaglebucks. I'm assuming it'll be more than what we have, but I can.
Dog, I'm talking something good. You give me a good item and we'll call this squared away.
You want a cloak of invisibility?
Sure!
Like Mitnir's using that. How about a ring
What kind of ring?
of invisibility?
You're just offering him my ring of
Oh.
invisibility?
He
Oh,
said
let's
he
just
don't
offer
need
him
it,
Grimm's legendary item.
that he doesn't use and said he doesn't need.
Oh, well.
It's not
then you
yours
can
to
put
give.
You could
Grim
put on a
got that
cloak
on his
instead.
own.
How about a ring of telekinesis?
Ooh, telekinesis, eh? I do like that. That's a good one. A brain for a brain. Looking at the little brain-shaped ring on your finger. I'll accept this trade.
All right, here you go.
Thank you. I'm quite pleased. He takes it and puts it away. He says, good. I'm glad that you're all very good with this whole trading thing. I'm into it. Now, here's your brain. He hands you your brain. Great deal. Now on to the important bits. Once we get your old skin on there, I think you're gonna have yourself a pretty neat body, pal. But there's some important things we need to do. First and foremost, the whole soul cloning thing.
Yes, we're very interested in that.
Well, to be honest with you, it was quite the trial in order for me to get what was necessary to create this very unique procedure. The most important thing involved was that I personally broke into the Fortress of Memories. And there, within that place, I found the key thing in order to clone souls. A record and a trinket made upon my own mark in all of existence, in all of the multiverse. That one thing was me. How very strange. Strange that but one memory was the one thread that connected my soul throughout all realms of space in which I might have existed. I was not to ever escape with this thing. But for some reason, the mistress of the land allowed me to leave. Not only that, she gave me the formula. She helped me. But I knew after a time it was a punishment. Only real options, though I know how to perform this ritual, is to create a perfect memory out of Mitnir using our own inner realm magic
and create for him his own soul trinket, or you must go to the Fortress of Memories and steal it.
You mean me, right? Not Mitnir?
Oh, sorry, you all look the same to me.
He's a dragonborn.
I guess we could just clone Mitnir too.
And I'm a
That's fine.
human. Great story, bro. Cool. So here it is. We can go and steal it. Or option 3. We go straight to the lady of the house and we ask for it. Not Lady of the House of Fate. I know you guys have been there. Not that. I mean the lady who is in charge of the Fortress of Memories, who calls this place her home. If she were to grant us this favor directly, we could save a whole adventure worth of time in fighting bad guys and getting into trouble. But it's up to you.
I prefer to ask before stealing.
Cool. Well, that's entirely up to you. I hear that she is the representative of the Shadowfell. You have more access than I, and frankly, I don't wish to meet her. She does not like me very much.
And this is if we could not craft a perfect memory. Is that what you're saying?
Crafting a perfect memory would require us to seep into his subconscious and find a memory that connects through the thread of fate of all of his existing soul lives. It's a core of his essence and being. With it, you can duplicate a soul as many times as you should choose, for as many realities as exist. For in fact, it is not true duplication of soul, but the supplication of the soul from another realm to bind it to this one. The necessary requirements for the ritual, which I believe one of you looks directly at City, and her boyfriend looks at Cleary, actually looks at Mitnir first and says, "Oh, the blue one." Looks at Grim. Keep moving.
Not
Says,
me. No.
Says, right, it's that one. Yeah, oh, yes. You two know a lot about inner realms. You must create a copy of his ideal inner realm. This may be difficult, because the inner realm that you must shape must match his soul without the contamination of the other soul. As such, it will be very difficult. You need to find his true inner realm.
Okay.
That is part of it that must be achieved. The other is meeting with the one who owns his soul trinket and receiving it, or we must forge one of our own. This is entirely up to you how you wish to do so. But you must find an object that is of great importance and you are willing to sacrifice for it, that truly is able to capture his essence. Memories are important, but a physical object is best for keeping it within the realm of use for us. Whereas the lady herself might be able to use simply a memory or an essence, we need more than that, something substantial. And we must bind memories of several realms to it. The only way I could see to do that is to find some sort of planewalker who knows Orin in every realm he might exist. Or some being who sees someone who's seen the time knife, let's say.
This
Did
is
we
a lot
all
to
see the
take
time
in.
knife? Or was
It's
it just Eddie
me.
that saw the time knife?
Don't know.
Probably not Grim. Grim doesn't see anything.
Sure you do. You see lots of spores all over your body. You're not blind.
Oh, I don't see it. Whenever they see things, I usually don't see things. Grim goes
Interesting.
through a door and out the other side, and they see lots of things. Grim does not.
Strange. You have a sort of essence of seer around you. I would have expected you to have seen many things, maybe deep in your subconscious. Have you
No, I
taken
just see.
peyote?
No,
Maybe
probably
you should
not.
try it. Could unlock your mind.
I mean, they've talked to some gods, but not like, they've seen other things, not like.
Hey, different strokes for different folks, man. Maybe your path is different than theirs. Maybe touching some guy isn't gonna give you what you need to see. Anyways,
Anyways,
these are the things to do. So if you wish to go just get your soul trinket from the lady, well, that's up to you. I believe in this place she goes by Vara. When I say this place, I mean Selindor.
yes.
Uh,
How do we do this
Alright.
without wasting a bunch of time? That is a question.
That is a good question. Perhaps an intermediary could give you a sort of conversational boost. I don't know. You all people know people on the council. I've met most of them, but I'm not really a big communicator with the group.
I can see what I can do. It might be possible to have the conversation from a distance, or
Otherwise, best of luck and move fast.
yeah.
Oh, if we can talk to Vara, maybe she knows the sigil sequence for a teleportation circle. We could just get in and out.
Maybe.
Oh,
We could plane shift in and out. We could get something.
the teleportation circles do work from here now. They have set one up inside
We could just
the Temple of
arrange.
Vedava, which you could memorize if you have a teleportation circle spell. And then you could teleport back here very quickly.
Yes, this is what Grim means. I could just cast it. Get in there and come back.
Well, see, yeah, so you must teleport to the teleportation circle. It's technically outside the cauldron, but then you enter. You know what I mean? It's like right there at the depot.
Right. And then we could teleport it back here. And then, couple minutes
you
could
would
be a
lose.
couple hours.
You would lose quite a bit of time. If it took you a whole day, you would lose a week in here.
Or a month.
That's what I meant.
But if it was, if we could do it in a matter of minutes, could be a matter of hours.
Well,
Just depends.
if we need this, then we shouldn't put it off. So
But we have to plan.
Yeah.
We have to be efficient, so no sense in, we must measure
Well,
out.
best of luck to you guys on that front. Until you get these pieces prepared for me, there's not a whole lot I can do. So I'm going to go to the water park on the east side of the lock. Goodbye, Sebastian. Away.
have fun.
Of course I will. I'm human. Humans love water parks.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Does anybody have a way to contact this Vara? Do we know? I don't know if we met her. I don't know if we've met her.
Does the
Have you
name-
met her, Cleary?
Yeah.
I have not specifically met the representative of the Shadowfell, but I have an inkling of who it might be. But it's a bad inkling, and I could be Shah. If it is Shah, that would not be very helpful.
I see. Is this I mean, if we have to lose time, we have to lose time. But we can be strategic about who it is that loses time. I feel I don't want to lose time, but I have nothing super meaningful to contribute to what's going on here in the Cauldron anyway. So I could go and make our case and see if we could get a deeper conversation here where everyone could be involved, or perhaps have a seal call going that you could all listen in or contribute to.
Well, let's see what we can do from here first, without wasting
Uh,
time.
Yes, yeah, see if there's a way to contact. I'll try calling around a bit. I have some contacts. I'll see if I can make some progress. I'm going to investigate.
Thank you.
Is this still the ending of week 6?
This is the start of week 7.
Okay. Well,
Oh, I need
then
you to
I
ending
did my
every
roll.
week 6. What'd you roll?
11.
Okay, you're okay. So Clear begins to investigate and find out what it is that he can. That should probably take him most of the day just making calls and like asking around, how do we get in contact with this person?
Can we need to get Aquim. So if this is can I like help where I'm needed, but then also get Aquim whenever the storm happens today?
Yeah,
If we're
that's
just
only
waiting.
like the afternoon. Yeah, if you want to just be there for giving advantage if people need it for a specific thing, that's fine. Grim, what are you working on this week?
Well, I mean, everything's
Well, I
done.
guess, sorry, today, because it's not the whole week yet. Let's just do today first.
Yeah,
And then...
because everything is done except for making the muscles bigger, right?
Yeah, some sort of muscle treatment therapy seems important. That will help tremendously in his physical stats.
Mm-hmm.
And him being able to
see.
continue with his current fighting style would require some very well made muscles.
Yep.
Let's see. I wonder if I can do something. I wonder if there's like an adapted, like if we can do like something along the lines of like a modified version of what we did for Ernie. Like not the same, obviously, as what we did for Ernie.
So all you know for sure about the formula that they use to make Ernie is that it is some sort of prolonged exposure to basically a potion of giant, like potion of whatever it's not the opposite of diminution.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Which do I know that?
Enlarged creature, basically. It's like
Yeah, I know
exposing
what
it
you're talking
constantly to a potion of enlarged self or a large
Right.
creature. Where
Actually, I
over
know
a long
potion
amount of
of
time of
diminution.
suffusion. So if you want the muscles to be as strong as limber as possible, the best way to do it would be to find a form of essence. To extract the essence of a strong creature that has large muscle production, like a ogre or giant or something that's incredibly strong, stronger than it should be for its size. Is
Yeah, let
also
me see if
So,
I-
colony dance.
So I need to learn how to make a potion of giant strength, basically,
That would
or
certainly
something
help.
like that.
Or something like giant strength, giant something like a potion of like something around the cat's grace or something in that
Yeah.
vein. Something that it would be useful in increasing his strength and dexterity in a way that would be helpful for his future self. Again, I think with him, dexterity significantly more than strength.
Yeah.
And constitution. You want him to be hardy, but that's mostly coming from his immune system, which is venomous nectar. So
let's see. I'm trying to think of like there's particular.
yeah, well, you can keep working on that. Mitnir, what are you doing today?
Today, I think he's just gonna go back to that how to become a god book, and he's just like, what's the next step? Like,
so the first step is that the first step is accumulating enough power. The second step is gaining followers, and then those followers becoming worshippers. They must more than admire you as heroes, but begin to exalt you as something greater than human. The next step after that is finding your domain. What do you as a god? What would you be the god of? and then working towards fulfilling the essence and becoming that thing. You must take your axe and follow into the very niche objective of that.
So yeah, he just spends the day pondering. He's like, worshippers, how to make them worshippers.
But it's all the same thing. It's like, so technically getting worshippers wouldn't even be the first step. It would be like one of the last steps to gain power and make you. The biggest step and the hardest step, which is in like chapter 10, is killing the current god of that thing.
It's like, got it. Kill. Easy enough.
You must kill, you must combine with, or usurp them in some other way. Next is, well, if you've made it this far, you either are a god or you're dead or aren't a god, because for some reason, the thing above all gods did not allow you to do so. If you've reached this point, congratulations, you've reached the end of your road one way or another.
So yeah, I say he just spends his day kind of doing that.
Well, there you go.
Maybe he can come help me collect Aquam during the storm.
Yeah, no, yeah, sorry, yeah, he can help do that too.
All right, so
I'm not sure how much help he'll
research
need,
on
but-
how to become a god. Propsy, what are you doing?
Same as always. I'm here to help, or I'm gonna train.
Okay. Oren, what are you working on?
Well, first thing I'm gonna do is present Bropsy with this amulet I made. Like I told you I would make you a necklace thing that you could carry Juris around in.
Oh, Orin.
You could put anybody in it as long as they're
Oh my
willing
goodness.
or unconscious.
Immediately puts Orin in it.
Could we put you in this to save you?
Maybe?
Just at the end of the week when he has to make his roll, just like
You just put him in the.
Boop him in?
You don't just have to put him in when the roll would happen. It's gonna happen either way.
I meant indefinitely if that would escape, but
yeah.
I mean, sure, you could leave him in there if you left him in there for a few months, like maybe you would keep him from the energies that are seeking him out, sure. But you would not be able to stop it from decaying by just putting him in for an hour every week.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant like permanently.
No.
go in the
You can
box.
certainly try. All right. So with that, Clary comes back and says, I have made a few inquiries. Of course, Vara has many aliases, but nobody will say exactly what the alias is, as that breaks the taboo of Selindor.
Sure.
That said, the other title I was able to glean was the Dutiful Daughter.
Okay.
I believe that your father has mentioned this before.
Yeah.
And she has some accordance with him, so she may very well be one of your sisters.
Maybe I can talk to her in a dream tonight.
Certainly, you could try. Anyways, that was the information I was able to gain. And I owe a few people some favors, so I'm going to go take care of those now.
Right. Thank you.
Right, see you tonight. Gives you a peck and then walks away.
Should we roll
Yeah.
for Aquam?
Yeah, go ahead and roll for Aquam. I don't remember how you guys are doing this.
It was like 16.
But if you're using-
10?
If you're doing that, if you're doing the same methods that you were using before, which I don't know if you can do without Grim there, because I think he was using...
I mean, sorry. Yeah, I guess what Grim would have done. Sorry, because I still have been trying to figure out what Grim would have actually done. He would have called Krishna, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And I think he would have
After
just
the
like
formula.
asked her advice.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. I was looking through all the potions trying to figure out what. None of them really make sense for what he would actually want to be doing.
Oh,
but-
yes. Mine was a unique formula that I used. You'll probably need something. Probably, I would recommend a very interesting liquid. Let's say, if you tried to do human essence and increase his agility, you say?
Yes, well, yes, he's a monk, so all
Growing
the
muscle. I've
jumping
grown
around and punching things, all that things that they do.
Yes, the sisters and I have grown homunculus before. Um, I would say that probably using this tonic, you should be able to do it. Are you ready for the ingredients?
Oh, yes, yes.
You would need a piece of lightning struck metal.
Okay.
You'll need griffin's feather. And this might be the hardest one to come across, but you need black ghost orchid.
Okay.
Well, best of luck to you, dear.
All right. Thank you. I very much appreciate.
Much appreciate your very much business. Let me know how your pig is doing, of course.
Yes, yes, yes. I actually don't even know where Ernie is right now. He's probably still at the school. He's probably hanging out with Brogy and Mora.
Yeah,
and,
definitely
yeah,
still at school. Yeah, I mean, he barely notices
pigging
you're
out.
gone.
Yeah,
It's been
draining the
like
cauldron of soup as fast as it can fill.
it's been like 6 days or whatever. So
He's
you know,
probably
he's,
just like pigging out, doing drugs.
yeah,
Just like he's a frat pig right now.
he's having a
They're probably all still partying. Actually, they probably haven't
Yeah.
stopped.
yeah.
But-
It hasn't been a very long time since you guys left. So
Been a day.
So yeah,
and
so
a
then
bit.
he's probably. My guess is Grim is probably actually. Yeah, he's probably gonna go look for those things then, and if he's out and about, he can help with the because he's probably gonna be out in the gap is where the storm takes place, right?
it actually takes place at the butthole.
The butthole. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'll be out and about. I can help with the. Yeah, he's gonna be looking for components and stuff. So.
Cool. All right. So as you begin to look around, go ahead and make me an investigation check to see if you can procure these items within this space.
Rapsy, if you refresh your character sheet, the item has been added.
He's just gonna fly around as a bird and stuff too, and 11 for investigation.
11 for the investigation.
If-
So
If we're making like a day of it, like he's coming out with us to do the Aquam too, can I assist
sure,
with his search as well?
sure. Do you guys want to just make it an outing together?
For the flower, he's gonna. My plan is to go ask at the fate place if they
Oh, okay.
have, because they have that garden full of weird flowers.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so during your time, you asked there. The lady of the house actually, when you go to walk and ask and see if you can go talk to Uriel, they don't stop you. They just say, "Oh, you're clean. You can go anytime you want."
Let's ask her if she's
So-
heard of it or.
Yeah, so you just go up. She pours you another glass of tea. She says,
Oh, well, those do grow, I believe, in dark places. I, for one, do not grow such a flower, as they would kill most of what else is around. They grow on trees, dead trees normally. Darker plains is where the black ghost orchid seed usually it takes root. White ghost orchids you can find within the material plane, but not black. You need to find them either in the Shadow Ethereal or Shadowfell. The other places where you might be able to procure such a thing might be in the darker places of Hades, Sorcery, or Pandemonium. I do believe that there are certain rocks within that realm I saw that had the black ghost orchid. They usually grow on trees, and when you find a tree such as this, it is a sacred thing. It will produce them near indefinitely, as long as it is well cared for. Or in some sense, just left alone.
So not on this island. That is.
Oh, no, dear.
But you are able to get your hands on a griffin feather. However, there is no lightning within the cauldron of purity. Whereas
Okay.
rain does happen, there is no generation of lightning as there's no purpose for it.
Right.
However, bringing this up, the Ariel says, "Oh, well, I could, as guardian of the cauldron, create some lightning for you, dear. But you would need to procure your own metal capable of attracting it and find some way to guide the bolts to you. That is entirely your folly, but if you need a storm, I could make one tomorrow for you.
Um.
Otherwise, the
Yes, I
true
think.
place where you might find one, I would recommend speaking to an individual who could create lightning themselves that is considered true lightning. That is a thing that you could get from, well, only one individual I know of for certain, but he's not one that you might want to spend your time with. It was him that cursed the first of us. Well, he was involved, anyways.
Yeah. No, I think probably if you could make a storm, that would be great. I'll just get. I mean, I'm sure at the gap there must be people with metal. I can. Yeah. I'll just go buy as much metal as I can find and set up a little. There's a lot of beach, and hey, maybe I know that there's supposed to be interesting things that happen to sand, right? When lightning strikes it.
Oh, yes, of course. Very
May-
different indeed.
Maybe something will happen and we'll have some things. People like things like that, I think. I don't know. We'll see.
Sure, dear. Let me know how it goes with your experiment. And please warn people about town that there'll be a lightning storm. Many of them are not prepared for such a thing.
Yes. See, don't carry long metal objects. And
Very
stay away
well.
from my long metal objects. All that.
Indeed. Well, best of luck to you, dear. Please stop
All right.
by again any time.
Thank you. You've been very, very helpful.
Of course. Seti.
Hmm.
Go ahead and roll me 60-10.
Oh. Yeah. Not bad. That's a 24.
24. Yeah. Cool.
How much aqua was that?
24 times, say 50. So if you're using the two of you in reverse gravity,
1,200 aquam for you, Orin.
1,200? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go gamble it.
all right. So with that, yeah. Is everybody accounted for today?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try and find a bunch of whatever metal rods and stuff we can find it.
So far, all I did
Alright.
was give Bropsy an amulet.
Time to
What
stretch
do
him.
you want to do with your day today, Orin? Things have kind of hit a standstill with your body, so.
If I know Grim needs this metal, I could make him something for that. Because I have
I'm
metal.
just gonna get a bunch of scrap that I can find. As long as it's conductive metal, right? But,
Yeah.
What kind of?
and then just kind of
I mean, I
stick
know
it in
metals.
the beach.
So what kind of metals would I know are conductive?
I mean, I would say some of the best conductors would be gold and silver. Anything other than that, you've got just iron, steel. I don't think electrum would be good, probably. If you had that, Mithril's a better conductor of magic, but electricity is still going to conduct extremely well. Orichalcum, not so much with the conduction. It is more earthy than the other counterparts of metal. Adamantine also doesn't conduct as well as something as a softer metals like silver and gold would.
I mean, he's
Like-
not doing circuitry, right? He's just trying to make little lightning rods, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so it could
he
be
doesn't
could be anything as long as
It
it's
doesn't
struck
need to
by
be
metal.
gold or silver, and he's not making circuits.
No,
right?
if you're just looking for ones that are the most the best for conducting electricity. Those would be the ones.
Yeah, he's just making lightning rods for the beach.
Would Mitnir's lightning breath thingy not suffice?
You can certainly try.
It's just not like true lightning. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it would
not
be the equivalent of
natural.
me casting a spell or something, which would also not be true enough lightning, right?
All right.
But however much scrap metal I can find, I'll go put in the beach. You know, just for the storm tomorrow.
Yeah. So I mean, I will say that taking the rest of the day is collecting scraps of metal and stuff, going around the gap, asking people for like, I need a long pole. Like, so some of these are like fishing rods that you found that people had that seem to be made out of like some thinner metal, more malleable metal pieces. You find something that like you think was probably like the lining of like an old like ship, like you're not sure if it was maybe the anchor and it had just like the sides had broken off, but it's like a much thicker, more like rugged piece of metal, and it's fairly large. The other one looks like it was probably an old iron spear at one point, but it's like solid metal all the way through. You're not entirely sure. It's rusted away a bit at this point, but you're able to like cut off the end of where the spear tip would be and get like a nice little sheet of like actual rod of metal out of the shaft. So you're able to get about 4 or 5 pieces that are like this, that are just random, nothing special, scrap metal. Overall, it's going to cost you about 50 gold from people for trading. And that's
fine.
mostly just because people just want their random scrap metals, because that's how they build their whole town. Is the entire gap is made out of scrap.
Yeah. And we'll just spread the word like, hey, lightning storm tomorrow. Don't go to this part of the beach.
And because you are well known as the Mushroom King and a member of New Death, that information is heated and is spread around.
But if you want to watch the show, it'll be bright.
All right.
Chance
So
appears the Blue
what were you
Man
doing with
Group.
the rest of your day, Orin?
Well, I guess if I'm not doing that, I'm just gonna research the muscle stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just gonna try to like find like another way to stimulate it. Is there anything else that you wanted to try to look into, like any other theories you might have had? Or you just want to like follow the research and see where it takes you?
I'll probably look into like the medical wise, what people would do to stimulate muscle growth and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course there's electrical impulse therapy, there's stuff like there's also like magical enchanting, which is like used to just make muscles different way, like suffusing it with the essence of creatures is like another means of doing things. However, this often results in hybrids when you do stuff like that, like the sort of suffusion of animal magic. Like it's like the same thing as
That's kind of like how we made our creatures.
yeah, it's like you just use like this sort of essence of the creature and just sort of force it into another being. These methods were used mostly by strange individuals who created the first were creatures, like gods, and mentioned stuff like that. And you're not sure where and why this book is in the library or who wrote it. But when you look at the bottom, it does have listed property of the Beast King. Or Beast Lord, sorry.
I don't. Do I know who that is?
Make me a religion check.
I remember him from like the old monster manual.
Nat 1 for an 11?
Yeah, probably some important cat.
I can't roll good today.
It's all good. All right, does everybody else have anything that they wanted to do? Seti, how are you going to go about communicating today, or what are you going to attempt?
Oh, Grim will remind you to ask her about the black ghost orc if you do get to talk to her, since apparently they can be in the Shadowfell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna
Wait for the night, or?
Yeah.
All right, so unless anybody has anything else they'd like to do, we'll close the day and Seti can attempt to use her dream powers to communicate with Vara.
Yep.
No? Okay. So as the day closes up, steady.
I want to try to focus on that phrase, the dutiful daughter, and feel out and focus on like connections to my father. That sort of like the blood in my own veins, but the, the ability to like sort of dream walk, and I'm just focusing really hard on those two things.
Go ahead and make me a wisdom with proficiency check.
Nat 20 for a 27.
As you dip down into the dark waters and find the ever spread expanse of light and stars, you move about this ethereal place known as the dreamscape. And as you do, you search for something that is like your father but not your father. And many things start to pull in many different directions, but nowhere concrete. It doesn't seem that whatever creature you're seeking has their own dream space, but something more. In your search, you begin to follow the shadows instead of the light. You begin to feel some sort of presence deep within them. You see black, shadowy figures shifting quickly, darting between the stars. For a moment, you think maybe they're what make up the black stuff between them. You follow them deeper, deeper, further away from all the stars that exist, into the dark parts of the endless expanse of the dreamscape. You're surrounded by nothing for a moment. And then you hear a voice. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Hello. I am Settimero. And I come seeking a favor and knowledge.
There's a moment the darkness begins to shift slightly, and you see a somewhat feminine form hovering over you. You can't tell how large this entity might be, but within this space, they feel all-encompassing. You can make out some semblance of a face in the darkness, eyes full of blackness, sort of pale skin. Draped over their head seems to be a mask and crown of black feathers. And as the Raven Queen addresses you, she looks deep into you, says, "You have come here seeking memories."
Yes. On behalf
She
of my
tilts her
friend
head
Orin.
slightly. "I have heard much about you from your father."
It is a pleasure to finally meet you.
Well,
I wish it was under happier circumstances, but I suppose those are few and far between in times like these.
she looks at you sternly. "Why do you need it?"
We are trying to save him from Northot's grasp. His soul is the son of a celestial. He's a good man. He's powerful. He's helping us in our fight against the chaos that the Far Realm is trying to bring.
What will you do with this memory, should I give it to you?
If I tell you that Egelman sent me, does that answer the question?
There's a ruffling of feathers.
Archibald Engelman,
Yes.
a fool.
Yes.
I gave him that formula to punish him. I let him go so that he might destroy his soul and feel the effects. That he might know how wrong it is. And yet he would send you here to do it to another.
Our plan is a lot shorter term than his. We want to split the soul momentarily so that he can leap from one body to another. An uncontaminated one, one that is outside Northot's grasp. And for what it's worth, I think Egelman is on the cusp of being ready to return. The original is, anyway.
That is the torture, dear.
Yes.
He can never return until all of him has.
Yes.
Well, I could grant you this favor, but favors is not what I do.
You know.
If you wanted to do something for me,
Of course.
climb the ziggurat.
The Abyssal one.
The second floor of the ziggurat of chaos. Something is there that belongs to me. Your friend. I see he dreams of the black flowers. A secondary reward awaits you.
Are you saying there's a night orchid there, or that it would be payment for?
Go and you shall receive what you wish.
Very well.
Very well indeed. I shall leave you a gate, sister, child. In the blackest part of your dreamscape, I will leave a door. Take whoever you need there. I know time is important to you. You may enter your ziggurat, the time will be the same. That is the extent of what I shall do to aid you. Conquer the second floor and bring me what is mine. You shall know it. Do this, and I shall give you the peace that you are missing.
We'll get right on it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Never thank me.
I know.
I do only what is right. And in this time, I sense a bit of rightness in your desire. Other selfishness spoils it.
I am doing the best I can for the people I love and the world I love.
Exactly. Be gone, sister. And then she disintegrates into a flock of crows. Ravens. Blackbirds that fly in all directions. And as she collapses into your vision, you wake up. No continued dreams after that.
All right.
You simply awaken.
Oh. Okay. In the morning, I will let everyone sleep and then tell them what I learned and where we need to go.
Does that mean we all get to go on a dream field trip?
Yes, sure does.
Does it mean we get to fuck something up?
Probably.
I haven't gotten to fuck something up in a really long time.
Actually,
But-
you've been constantly fighting creatures within the cauldron for months.
Not fun ones. No one's
Not-
almost died in like months.
You didn't see those vampire birds.
I think that's the point. He's missing out on all the fun.
Everything I go to beat up, it's just
All right, well, I suppose we shall.
one shot, one shot, one shot.
All right, so day 2. What would you guys like to do? As the following night, at the end of this day, is when Seti will be taking you, unless you guys want to delay it, to once again the ziggurat.
Well, it's going to be a storm. I don't know when. Did she say when the storm was going to be?
The storm will be tomorrow night. So today's night.
Today's night.
Before-
Okay.
Yeah.
Time to go beat a bunch of shit up while we wait, I guess. Can't make my potion till I got,
All right, so fair enough. You guys can spend the day hunting, and then you obviously in the evening need, or when the storm would be starting, which is the same time as the Alchem storm. You can put down your metal rods and get prepared for that. So go ahead and take 1 day of training, and then we can roll for that as well. This is going to be a D100 on all. I'm going to say you have 5 chances. So you have 5 chances to roll a D100 that is going to be a divine intervention roll and the, again, mirror on the top and bottom. So,
Everybody roll a d100?
or he can do it himself since it's his project, but if he
It is your
wants to
project.
keep it simple, then you can spread it to the rest of them if you want.
Oh, is this for the
This is
lightning
for the
rod?
chance that lightning will strike the rods.
Okay. How many did I just got 5?
You've got 5 rods.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll. 76. Roll. 10.
That does it.
1 strikes.
Roll. 86.
That 1 strikes.
That's 2. Roll. 94.
Also strikes.
Roll.
Damn.
94.
Jesus.
4
Four
out
Four
of
out
5.
of your
out of
5
5.
lightning rods are struck with lightning. And as they are, you see the glass that forms below them, this magnificent spread. The ground strikes with lightning. You are blinded in a flash, and you actually take, because of your proximity, some lightning damage. When this cascade of lightning strikes into this space, you're going to take 33 points of lightning damage.
Nice.
33, so that's going to be 19. Off like that. Do.
But as you're smoking and sizzling as you go home for the night, you walk in with these sections of metal that are supercharged with lightning.
Yes.
They have a
Nice.
very slight glow to them.
Singed Furbolg walks back in.
And you can also have 40 pounds of lightning glass.
Which we can. I don't know.
What do they call that when lightning strikes glass? It's got a specific name for like. what the
Oh
kind
yeah,
of-
let me see it. Yeah.
I don't think I have much to
Fulgurites.
do today,
What's it called?
so
It's called Fulgurite.
All right. Well, you've got 4 fulgurite, 10 pounds each. Cheers.
4 10-pound pieces of Fulgurite.
I'm probably just.
Well,
gonna
you know,
go
I think
collect
it's only
Aqua.
fair though to give those to like back to the lady, right? Like
Entirely up
as
to you.
payment. Like for like as art for her like house, right?
Certainly could. All right. What were you saying, Minnie? Or sorry, not Minnie. Warren? My brain's completely
it?
fried.
I don't think I have much to do today until tonight, so I'll probably
Okay,
just collect Aquam.
Aquam can only be collected at 6 p.m., so you can spend the day training.
I mean, I don't want to train until I'm in the new body.
Fair enough.
I like it's a black cat, so we're just getting like
This-
the silhouette of a tail passing over your face.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you if you want to do. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. But like, you don't really have much else to do. So if you want to, you can do whatever. You can go to the water park. You can go to the House of Fate and see what all the hubbub's about. Lose some money.
Lose your shadow.
I'm not gonna leave.
Max.
I'll just
Oh, that would be
watch
fun. Yeah,
over the
you should
body. I
definitely go do
guess
that.
then. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Definitely go get your
What about you,
fortune told,
Bropsy? You
though.
want to go train?
I guess I'm training.
All right, another day of training.
I think I had.
Dodge some lightning strikes.
What about you, Manir? And training doesn't always have to be fighting monsters. You can spend time like training and honing your other abilities, and it still be considered working towards your level. Like you could be spending time just like doing alchemy or like building your knowledge. Anything that gains you more experience as a person and the betterment of what you can do can be used to contribute towards level. It doesn't have to be just searching.
Unless
and
it's
I would be
fighting.
growing
doing
a
alchemy then.
person.
Could be using my time
growing a
learning
person
another potion.
in and of itself certainly is going to help give you guys this experience for these levels. So
I think
it's just I want people to specifically be spending time also training as a cost to level up.
I think he's gonna just work on some tattoos, like no ink usage, but he's just
practicing, get
just
some
practicing,
concepts
like,
down,
carving concepts and just trying to make it more artistic.
I would say that if you want to do this, you can memorize 3 tattoos from the list of tattoos that are on the in the book of the possible tattoos that you can make. Remember that book that I sent you? So you could just memorize.
Find an anti-pregnancy one for Sethi.
Using both of those tattoos, you can find those tattoo books. You can pick 3 that you just know, if you would like.
I will do that in between.
Yeah.
I'm offended. I think Cleary should be the one to get the anti.
Oh, well, if it works that way, absolutely.
Anyways, so does everybody know what they're doing? Did we already figure that out?
I'm spending the day training, I guess.
Okay, training. Okay. All right, so everybody write down what you've accomplished for the day, and then as night comes, all of you are grouped up within the manor that SETI has created for you.
That's right.
And it's up to you where you would like everyone to be, but they need to be in a space near you to do this. You know that like it's one thing to try to like usually are with somebody like in the room with them whenever you try to bring them into your dreams.
On the pool deck, the lowest level of the main floor, there's like this really cushy lounge area.
Mm-hmm.
We're like there's just pillows and cushions just everywhere, and we're just like that's where we're all grouped up, I think.
All right. As you guys sit in this circle, SETI begins to play some music. And she plays a lullaby. And as the magic begins to move over you, you're not even sure where this song comes from, but something about it feels like the most natural thing you've ever done. And you begin playing this song, and as it does, you all feel reality around you begin to fall away. You look into the distance around you, and you see Cleary is actually gesturing and like creating small little flecks of arcane runes in the area around you. And you look around and you see grass and you feel a breeze begin to blow past you. The furniture, the posts, the walls begin to fade away and get replaced. Columns becoming trees. Thick fog rolling around the ground coming from a deep forest. In the darkness, you swear you can hear the cackling of the matron for a moment, and then it fades into the sound of twinkling nothings. Small little bugs dancing, those little fireflies, but somehow more magical than that. In the very center of this clearing where you all stand, you see a massive purplish, dark, black shard seemingly there are bits of starlight whirling within it, but otherwise it seems to swallow all of the light around it. There are standing runes in a circle, similar to Stonehenge or some other form of old archaic ceremonial circle. There are
Welcome to
runes
my
on them.
inner realm.
They're indecipherable. Yeah, so this is Seti's inner realm. Looking up, you can see the stars are not the constellations that you are familiar with, but instead the dreamscape sky. Each one the inner realm of another. The star is not just white twinkling things in the cosmos, but you can see whole nebula. You can see stars of so many different colors, many of which you never even imagined. It's like a kaleidoscopic starry sky of infinite color. So,
All right, where's this door?
looking through the forest to the south, you see what appears to be a dark door. You recognize the black, sort of near sheenless, sort of chitinous-like material that made up the ziggurat when you first entered and found the key to the second floor. The door looking exactly the same as the one you saw there.
Okay. Let's do this.
As you guys step into the area and you put the key in the lock and open the door, it creaks open. And looking in front of you, you see steps leading down into the darkness. You begin walking forward. There's a sort of instant sensation of dread that hits you as you step through this door. I'm not sure if any of you have been to the Shadowfell properly, but it is a cold place. Bone chilling. The absence of all light and warmth. It's that same sensation as when your shadow left you. And here in this place, you feel exceptionally hollow without it. But
Yeah.
the stairs descend down. And assuming that I did everything correctly, when I made this, I can put you guys on the map. I haven't checked it since I made it to see if I did if I put that thing on it, the Fog War.
Yeah.
Wait, where are my things? Oh, it's still loading, that's why.
Or Frogmore.
Fog.
Giant
F-O-G.
frog.
Oh, it's got 15 seconds till it gets what it needs.
I'm pretty sure Frogvore would just be Battletoads.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody's been doing a lot of GPT like art, and one of them was they did a frog, and they're just like, now make it buff, more buff. It's just like this frog just got progressively more buff. It was really funny. I loved it.
Where's the thing that says where you guys are? My little flag. There's my flag. Boop. Assuming that this was done correctly.
I see a bunch of black. And
Bottom
there
right.
we
If you go down to the bottom right, you
I
should
found it.
find an area where you can move.
I found it.
You step into the space. We only have 5 minutes left in our session. But
Mhm.
until the time, such time when it ends, what do you guys like to do?
Look around.
So are we still dreaming? Are we awake?
Yeah, how does this work? Do we have
Are we
like
actually
our
here? Seti, I'm confused.
We are actually
How-
here.
Okay, so we can like do all our normal stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
And the consequences are normal.
Okay, so don't die, Orin.
That's right.
No pressure.
I mean, I guess if we were gonna die, this is better here than like where there's like people, right? But I guess make a perception
That's
check,
true.
right?
Okay. Make a perception check.
30.
Wow. That's real good. With a 30, you can see no real traps or anything of that nature ahead of you, but you do see black, inky webs that seem to fill the space and a thick, almost miasma like mist. Looking at it gives you a very uneasy feeling and makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Both the webs and the mist are dangerous. To your right, you notice sort of glowing bioluminescent moss. With a 30, you recognize that there are harvestable materials here.
Ooh.
You immediately identify some of the stalks there as Moonstalker.
Okay, guys, remind me before we leave. I got to grab some of this stuff.
Oh, we are absolutely grabbing things.
Like we might be here for whatever like we got to get, but like also
I'm always told not to touch shit.
The area
but,
that
like,
you
we
are
don't know
in
which
is
shit to touch and which not to touch.
Yeah.
So the area that you are in, also with this 30 looking around, you see black roots that seem to be coming from above and around the walls. This seems to be a space that is underground, an old hovel. And you're not, most of you may not know a lot about the Shadow Fell in general. But if anybody would like to, they can make me I want to go ahead and say history check if they want to get an idea of what kind of area this might be.
History is not my good one.
I got a 19.
Yeah, a 6.
A 19. The thing you know, Mitnir, about the Shadowfell is that it is a place where lots of undead fuckers hang out. You know from Blackwall, you know from House Necrom, there's like vampires, there's a whole bunch of zombies and skeletons and all kinds of weird bone boys. Not really your peeps to hang out with. But you're aware that they probably have like a lot of crypts and like old burial places, and looking how this is overgrown but has small amounts of structure in it, that's what you think this might be, is some sort of underground crypt that has been overgrown by or defiled by whatever the Shadowfell has in nature.
So I've heard some stories about places like this, and there's good news. It's just undead things. The bad news, there could be a lot of them.
Right. Okay. Well,
Somebody could have told me that I could have.
well,
No.
we
Don't worry. I
And
definitely
like when you see a
don't
skeleton
have
go down,
something.
don't assume it's dead. Like turn it into dust. Make sure.
right. Okay. Well, at least we know a little bit, assuming we trust Mintnir's very confident assertions.
Well, Midnir, you've got the big fire sword. Just use that. It's fine.
Keep our wits
I'll be
about
pretty
us. We'll be
useless
fine.
though.
Can we start creeping forward a bit? See if we can get a better look around.
You guys can move yourself as much as you would like, and as you do, I will
As
attempt to make it.
we do, you will end the session.
Yeah, as you begin to move forward, it is 7:59. You step forward, you begin to move into the space, and as you do, the webs begin to move as well. And that is where we will end our session.
Uh-oh.
Well, wasn't expecting to wind up in the ziggurat today.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We love you, and remember, we did it for the
We
rolls.
did
For
it
the
for
rose.
the rolls.
The rose.
Good night.
Oh no, I was muted. We did it for the rolls.
Sucker.